Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of your divine uniqueness. Yeah, so happy to have you to connect with you again, whether live or on replay, and also very excited that Sheryl and No Day is back on the show. As some of you already know her, she's been joining us several times before on the show, and every time like the experience goes even deeper as she shares channeled messages or also her own teaching and her own story, which is very inspiring. That she shared with us. I think that it was the last call about channeling and how powerful the experience can really be. And yeah, so for those of you who are new to her, she is a trance channel for Siria Family, which is Sirius, and other high frequency beings. She is a healer, medium, teacher, and magical realism painter. And the subject today is the joy and importance of spirit in our daily lives. And so yeah, she will be discussing this, like connecting and communicating with spirit, and how it really can support us in our daily life. It's not just a communication, but in how that connection can really support us in all areas of our life, to move forward in our life, in our healing journey, and receiving guidance and more clarity and many things. So yeah, so that will be very inspiring, very powerful. And also, as always, we will have a Q&A where you can ask Sheryl your questions. So for that, if you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand by pressing react, then raise hand. And if you are on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. And also you can type your questions on the phone. You can type your questions on Zoom, on the chat box, and also on the chat box on YouTube. And yeah, so with that, Sheryl, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us.
Thank you. It is always a joy to be with you. What you're doing here, bringing people together and talking about spirit, talking about mystical lives. It's my favorite topic, so I'm delighted to be with you. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, so really happy to have you again with us. And for those who are new to you, would you like to share maybe a little bit about yourself and your work?
Yeah, sure. Well, hi everybody. Thank you for joining us. And I see so many names popping up here. So it's great that you're tuning in. Thank you. Um, as was just shared, my name is Sheryl Ann O'Day, and I have been a mystic and a medium and a channel for a long, long time. And the way that it happened for me is that I actually just picked up where I left off. And I know that sounds really strange, but I was a very young child and had memories. I think like a lot of children do. It's just that I really was inspired by them and I really believed them. So I was told in an astrology reading, and I remember the day that I had my awakening. I was 7 years old, and I remember the day, and I revert back to that day quite often. That does not mean that I had an easy childhood. That does not mean that I didn't have a lot of trials and tribulations like everyone else did. It just means that on that day, there was an awakening, and I was able to remember that. I was able to draw upon that in times of crisis, in times of trauma, in times that I would, as an adult, revert back and heal those times by remembering that first awakening. And so that it was a christening in a way. It awakened me, and I became really very, very interested in the unseen, in the spiritual life, in life after death. And it was in my obsessed with the universe and about past lives and learning about them. And that's when I had a few past life bleed throughs on ancient Egypt. And so I had great memory really at that point in time about Egyptian past lives. And it wasn't until my early 20s, and I was a photographer at the time in Los Angeles, and it was in my early 20s that I had an experience with channeling, and I don't mean telepathic communication. I mean a being coming to me, and I knew from previous lives how to step aside, and that being came through me and spoke, and that was something that absolutely changed my life forever. It was never again that easy, but I began classes and began to study a very in-depth process of how to hold the spiritual energy and how to bring it through. So that's really it in a nutshell. Um, and it's still going on to this very day because I don't feel that if we ever feel like, okay, I'm there, I'm really doing what I want to do, the energy is really flowing, there's always more because um, we are not constant. We are flowing in harmony with the universe, and the universe is always growing, always creating. And so are we. So that's it really in a nutshell. There was a lot of personal growth. The guides that I was bringing through would not allow things to move forward. People be touched in the way that I was touched, and am still touched to this very day. Although it's wonderful to find physical teachers because we need that human connection as well, human to human. But it's also so delicious to speak to a being that is no longer incarnating and to have their perspectives on life here on planet Earth. And boy, we are on a ride, and this ride is just going to get better and better and better because more light is going to be coming in. And so it's important for us to be able to recognize that night and to hold that light. And that was one of the things I wanted to talk about today is spirit, yes. Spirit from the unseen world, spirit that is no longer in physical form. But what about our own spirit? And that's something that I really want to impress upon everybody here. Your own spirit, your own light. How do you access that? Well, try to find the light in every situation that you're in, even if it's unpleasant. Try to find that silver lining. Try to find the light. Accessing your own spirit is part of this journey. You being in your spirit, the joy, the happiness, the random acts of kindness are ways to ignite your own spirit, even when you're not feeling it. No one is left out of this mix. We all have a spirit and a soul, and I'll get to that in a second. But your own spirit is so important. And when you're in touch with your own spirit, that is going to be like a rope connecting you to other spiritual beings of the same frequency as you. Now, your soul comes to incarnate in this life as well. So it's not one over another. Well, am I connecting with my soul? Am I connecting with my spirit? You connect with both of them, and you have the most extraordinary human life that you possibly can. And how do you do that? By being in your heart. The longest distance is the heart to the head, and yet it's only, what, 10, 12 inches? And that's the longest distance you will travel in life. To integrate into the heart, to find the love in every situation. And if you can't find it, then put it there. Simply put it there. You've all had experiences that are incredibly loving in life, as well as the other. But if you're not feeling really loving upon it, go to an experience that you had. If it's not feeling really juicy in that moment, then have a picture with you. Have a picture of a baby, perhaps your own baby, or a baby that you were touched by, or a puppy, or a kitten, or something else that immediately draws you into that feeling of love. And then once you are feeling it, It's yours. It's not someone's that you're borrowing. If you're feeling it, it's yours. And then you own it. Say, I'm feeling this love. Put your hand on your heart. Put both hands on your chest. And a gentle little, like pounding, just very gentle, getting that heart going. And that's how you get your heart pumping and pumping and pumping with your own love. So, your own spirit is something that I wanted to talk about today, in addition to the spiritual energy, the beings that we connect to, the spirit they're in, those that are no longer incarnated on the earth plane. So, our spirit is equally as important. And you know what, you guys? That's what the guides want anyway. So when we connect to spirit, those outside of ourselves, those other beings of light, when we connect to those beings, their role is to connect us to our spirit anyway. We do not give our power away under no circumstances. We do not put them on a pedestal. That's the last thing that they want. Their role is to bring us in harmony with the teacher, the master within, our own spirit, our own light, our own soul. That is their job. Any questions on that?
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that introduction. And yeah, so the question, because so we know we all have this connection, and we have this love always for us. But sometimes we have those limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves, and we may feel that we are not ready to connect with our spirit team or the spiritual beings. Or we believe that maybe because we did this or that, it's like there's some kind of unworthiness. So how can we, how the spirits sees that, and how can we establish this connection when having those limiting beliefs?
Well, that's a common one, that we're not good enough. I think everybody, all of us, have felt that we're not good enough, we're not worthy enough. Why would they want to connect with me? So once that, it's a very popular belief, that lets you know right there you're on target. That if you're feeling something like that, then you're right on target, okay? So, with that in mind, I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. I did this in life. I've been labeled as this, all of that extra yama yama. And what you can do, there are several things that you can do. There's all kinds of processes, and I'm sure you guys at this point have really heard of them all. But what I like to do is gather it up. Just take your hands and start pulling it out of your energy field, grab it up, ball it up. Okay, start balling it up. This is my limiting belief. I'm not good enough. I blew this. This happened to me then. I've been marked as this, and ball it up into a ball. And then we're going to take that ball and bring it between your hands. Imagine it there. And your hands, everybody has this, has an electromagnetic current between your hands. So if you bring them up together like this, and just let's build that electromagnetic energy. Now you can feel the energy between your own hands. You expand a little bit, expand a little bit. Take that ball that you just made with all your unworthiness, all your less than, everything that's getting in your way. Put it between your hands with the electromagnetic energy and begin to diffuse it. Fill that ball with light. Fill that ball with light. Imagine it filling up with light, filling up with light, filling up with light until it is a bright white ball. Then bring it right on into you. And that's how you transform energy. Now you might say, okay, I did that and I felt that I was successful, but I still feel that way about myself. And so locate what it is. Is it a thought? Is it an emotion? If it's an emotion, it is in the emotional body. And that's the closest to the physical body. And you can just bring your hands on up closest to the body and start to remove it. Ball it up again. If it's a thought that you keep thinking repetitively, that's in the mental body. It's outside here, just a little bit on top of the emotional body. That's why when you have repetitive thoughts over and over and over and over, that are unpleasant about yourself. It can seep into the emotional field, and the emotional field is closest to the body. It seeps into the physical field, and that's how you create a dis-ease, a disharmony with yourself. So it's very easy to find out what it is. The mental is around here, the emotional is closer. Locate where it is and start to pull that out, pull that down, transform it within yourself. It's actually a lot of fun to transform limiting beliefs because you're the architect. You're the creator of your own reality. If you're having a limiting belief over and over, then let it be fun for yourself to remove it. Imagine that you are the artist of your own life because you are. Imagine that you are the architect, and this is something that you want to remove and replace with. So, finding that limiting belief that I'm unworthy, what do you replace it with? Well, I have worth, I have value, and find something that you absolutely love about yourself and focus on that. And I'm sure you all have several that you love. It's just that there's a tendency to focus on that of the shadow. And at times it's more colorful for people. It has more texture for people. It's what draws you in. And if it draws you in to really look at yourself, then that can be very positive. So I hope that made
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, it does. Thank you very much. And another question is when we feel that connection, it feels like there are cycles. There are times where we feel that connection very strong, and other times we feel like there is some kind of disconnection. We don't hear them anymore or don't feel that connection. How do you explain this kind of experience?
Well, that's wonderful. Number one, you can't be connected all the time. I mean, as much as I love to be on all the time, it's that ebb and flow because that's the cycle of the universe. It's an ebb and flow. Our lungs reflect that. We're breathing in, we're breathing out. We're taking in oxygen, we're exhaling. It is that in and out motion. It's the sun, it's the moon, it's a cycle of the waves. It's in and it's out. Now, when you feel greatly connected, that's awesome. We all love that. To utilize that the best of your ability to create, to connect to your higher self, to bring your dreams into fruition. But when you find yourself retrieving and going into that ebb cycle, that's a rejuvenation time. That's also a time that you want to seek great, excuse me, great value. So in that time, when you're recharging your battery and cycling where it feels like backwards, allow yourself to retrieve, allow yourself to get that momentary rest and relaxation and to go within. How are you feeling? What does life look like from this inner perspective? And then when that becomes full and it becomes fertilized is when you come back out into the world and you feel that great connection. And so it's an ebb and flow. And if you're feeling that, you're right in alignment with the creation of the universe. So that's awesome.
Yeah, um, wonderful. And also because we have a question related to that from Jennifer. She said she's wondering if the voice in her head is real. So how can we discern if we are connected to our spiritual guide or being, or is it something that we created in our head?
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Discerning is so huge and it's so important. How to tell the difference between our spirit guide, our higher self, or our negative ego that's playing tricks on us. Your negative ego is not that smart. Your negative ego is not that smart, you guys. It's not going to come up with solutions. It's that feel very solution oriented and that satisfy its own existence. So step back, ask, okay, what part of me is answering? If you're asking a question that's just from your mind, then it could very well be from your negative ego because that's where the negative ego lives. But if you really have a question, sit down and connect. Connect with your higher self. What is your higher self? Your higher self is the greatest, highest light of you that is no longer incarnate. You're
Yeah.
going to get answers that are of the highest vibration that you cannot make up if you wanted to, because it goes past the negative ego. And it is very smart and very intelligent, sorry, and very loving. And that's one of the ways that you can discern. Now, how do you know that it's spirit and you're actually connecting with a guide? Well, one way to know for sure is to invite the guide in. And we always do this with our higher self. Okay. So your higher self acts as an ally and also acts as a gatekeeper. So learning about ourselves can be like a kaleidoscope because we have all of these different energies. Okay. It's not only our negative ego, it is our wondrous inner child, it is our analyticent, it is our feminine energy, our masculine energy, and all those aspects. But when you see yourself as a kaleidoscope, as a diamond, and know that you are the center of all this energy that is swirling around, and your focus into the concentration of that hologram, of that kaleidoscope, of that diamond, I'm going to send out a frequency to connect by invitation and then have something to write with or have something to speak into and allow the stream of consciousness. Of course, you're going to doubt it in the beginning. That's part of it. Of course, you're going to feel nervous that you're making it all up. That's part of it. Happens to me to this very day. But that's also part of being human because we're masters at doubting everything. But there's so much fun, really, in learning about yourself, learning about who you are, what makes you tick, what are you here for? And the guides that come and teach us and love us are part of our journey.
Yeah. Wonderful. And yeah, I really love that you mentioned that we connect to other beings through our higher self because how to say it makes the experience more safe. We feel in a safe space because we wonder if we are connected to like benevolent beings or not, if we are opening our energy field to beings that we can trust or not. And also related to higher self, we have a question from Jackie. Do we have to let go of all our shadows before our higher self can come in?
No, not at all. Um, I love that because shadow exists because of the light. You guys can even play around with this. Go outside and look when it's the brightest sunlight, it's going to be the greatest shadow as well. When you have the greatest light on, in your room. Like I have a light right now that's going to cast a shadow. So shadow exists because of the light. It will always be there. But the idea is that your shadow is not running the show for you. You become aware of your shadow. What makes it strong? What motivates your shadow? And so the dark shadow becomes part of the light shadow. But you don't have to be perfect and integrated everything to connect with your higher self. I would highly recommend that you start connecting with your higher self right now. Your higher self is going to help you understand your shadows. And the shadows, what are they? They're really just the part of ourselves that we all have. Okay. I know a lot of people feel like theirs is worse than anybody else. No, the humans all have the same kind of shadows. The idea is how strong it is, how long you've been ignoring it, right? Or how long that you've been accepting it. and bringing it in and not being afraid or embarrassed of it, but to write with your shadow. As a matter of fact, I prefer not even to use the word shadow. I like to use the word the parts of ourselves that are not integrated. Maybe the parts of ourselves that we don't see. And that's something that you can really ask your higher self, show me in an elegant way the parts of myself I cannot see. And this happens a lot in our dreams where people say, I had a horrible dream. I had this unbelievably scary dream. That's actually good because you could be, I mean, not in all cases, but you could be actually learning about your shadow in dream space. And isn't that wonderful? Isn't that an elegant way? It's with harm to none. And it's something that you're learning really about yourself.
Yeah,
So great that
absolutely.
I'm so happy that you're all here and asking these really in-depth questions.
Yeah, they are also very, very helpful. Thank you so much. And also, another question is that like every person can be connected to different beings. Like, for example, we are connected to Siria Family, among others. Others can feel more connected to Pleiadians or Arcturians. So why do we have those connections? And also, why can we have one connection stronger than another, with some beings stronger than others?
Thank you. That's great. Well, it mirrors, you guys, our relationship with the unseen mirrors our life here on the physical plane. Look at the host of friends that you have and the diversity really within your friends. You have male, you have female, you have maybe people from other countries, maybe people from different age groups, people with different interests, different nationalities. And it's the same when we connect with galactics, when we connect with the unseen, you will have a resonance to those particular unseen friends that you hold within yourself. And you will feel a resonance. For example, people that will come to talk to Siria family feel very connected to Sirius. So they have a connection really already in that way. And when they start to learn about the Sirius energy, then it makes a lot of sense to them. Yes, I've always felt this way. Yes, I have always had this kind of interest. But the Pleiadians, for example, are very, very close to our planet, and as well as the Arcturus energy, the ones that you mentioned, uh, Monsef, the Sirius energy, the Arcturian energy, the Pleiadian energy, are very much allies of humans and of Earth and what we're experiencing right now. As a matter of fact, channeling is up. A lot of people are very interested in learning how to channel, and that is because yes, they're feeling called, but you're also intuitively sensing the beings that are around this planet. Now, why are they around this planet? Why would the outside beings be interested in planet Earth? And that is because you are an extraordinary being. That's right. Every single one of you is an extraordinary human being. I don't care what you've done or what you haven't done. And that is because we have such an extraordinary love here on this planet. We are incredibly loving beings. And when you fall in life, and when you feel like you have no life and no love in your life, you seek for more. You seek for more love. And that's why these beings are surrounding this planet, because they see this kind of love that we have. And if you knew that in your beingness, if you knew this in your heart and you walked each day of your life, that you have the capacity to have this extraordinary love, and you're going to feel it just a little bit today, just a little bit tomorrow, you are walking on your path and you are walking on your destiny and you are doing what you've come here to do. And that's the role of the guides, is to remind you of this extraordinary capacity to love that each and every human being has. No one has fallen through the cracks. No one, it does not have this. You're born with it. No one can take it away from you. Now, we're great at giving it away, and we're great at thinking that we're not deserving. But that, my friends, can be harnessed, can be removed, and can be transformed. You see, it's far more than self-love, isn't it? Because that has become a very in vogue term. Well, just love yourself. Wouldn't everything be resolved? And to some degree, yes, but it's become so flipped around that we've lost the potency of what it really means. And so your love, your capacity to love, and just think about those words, that what's happened to you in your life, the trials, the tribulations, the traumas, the fears. But every time that you've healed and picked yourself back up, it's the love that you have for yourself, for your life, for humanity that keeps drawing you forward. So that's why these beings are so close to the planet. That's why people are intuitively connecting to. That's why there's such a draw as to who you're connected to, which
Yeah.
in many cases is all.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sheryl. And do you feel maybe to share a channeled message for the group from Siria Family?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Okay. So for those of you that have never experienced my channeling before, I'm going to go into an altered state. I am a trance channel, which means that I don't know what they're going to say. It's a stream of consciousness that comes through. I've been channeling these beings for over 3 decades now. Although I channel many beautiful beings, Siria Family is always the beings that come forward. They're my gatekeepers. They always come forward first, even if another being comes through. They, I say they because there's many of them. Um, but it's really, you'll hear it as a single being. Um, and oh, they're coming close, so it's getting hard for me to remember what I'm talking about. What happens in the beginning? So you'll see me close my eyes and I invite them in. And then what she or they, because it's feminine energy, will do is they start to tone. And it's very high pitched toning vibration. And that sound can be very piercing. And I invite you to let that in, let it move through you, because what that tone is doing is it is bypassing the negative ego. In a sense, it relaxes the negative ego. The negative ego can't grab onto it, can't understand it. So it gently relaxes and meets you can raise your vibration in many ways. Okay, so we'll see
Just
what
one
happens.
thing, if it's possible, because
Yeah.
sometimes Zoom they remove if there is toning or singing, you need to probably in the settings on the audio uh, choose original sound for musicians, put it on, and then Zoom will not remove anything.
You want me to do
If
that?
yeah, if possible, because it
Oh,
happened before with a speaker, like they did toning, but we didn't hear
okay. So where do
anything.
I do that?
On settings,
So, okay.
and oh,
Now I gotta figure out what
let me.
all this is.
You see the
Or I could
audio.
just have them do toning that's not so loud.
Um, yeah, if you want, yeah. Um, like there is audio and video icons on the
Okay.
bottom left. You click on the
Yes.
arrow, audio, and then there is audio settings in the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, and
All right.
then you see under microphone there is audio profile. You choose original sound for musicians.
What am I looking for? Yeah, don't see profile.
Uh, do you see microphone? There is one like test mic
Okay, yes, 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 yes.
below it. Below it.
Which I said, repeat that again, please.
Uh, like below the test mic, if you scroll down a little bit, you find
Yes.
audio profile. There is Zoom background noise remover, and below it, like the second below it, is original sound for musicians.
Okay. Got it. Great.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
Alrighty.
you.
Yes. A little mental work there. Okay. Right, yes. We are Siria family. We are very pleased to be here. Yes, indeed. Do understand that when we make our presence known upon the earth plane, indeed, the pleasure is ours. Today, we understand that we are with a group of very beautiful souls. As you learn to traverse your own consciousness, know that pieces and particles of your unknown energy become more known and available to you. That is what is known as being in your own power. And so, as your days begin to unfold, as your days begin to continue on this planet, know that indeed, as you move into greater aspects of yourself, you are moving into greater aspects of your own power. Needless to say, beyond what is happening in your outside world, what happens in your inside world dictates that outside world. Do not allow yourself to be influenced too much by what is going on in the outside world. Yes, of course, you will have feelings about it. Yes, of course, you will have opinions about it. Yes, of course, there are at times that you will be influenced by it. But also know that your greatest resource will never be found in a science lab. Your greatest resource will never be found outside of yourself. Your greatest resource is yourself. The human being can be quite complicated, quite complex. And this complexity is where you also find your creativity. And your creativity is launched and accessed by soul. And so there can be many different pathways, many different avenues, shall we say, for you to meet thyself. And thus far, in the human matrix, it has been through trials and tribulations and pain. That's how you have grown. That's how you've all wanted it to be. That is what we are observing and what we have observed for a long, long time. That is what has interested you. But now, in this extraordinary time of your awakening, you're all processing in and of your own way to reach thyself through love, how to reach thyself through joy, how to grow within through bliss and understanding. And how can I be the highest vibration of me, you say? That is why you've all incarnated. Oh, yes, we hear you a lot of times. You want to know very specifics as to why you've been here. And dear friends, we leave that to your own creativity. Well, we've already stated why you are here. You are here to design and create a new human being, starting with yourself. Isn't that beautiful? Starting with yourself. And so naturally, there's going to be times of great disconnect. Yes, we heard that question. There's going to be times where you feel very removed. And then you come into great alignment with yourself. And in those times, and when you feel greatly disconnected, you are behind it all in that way. It is an incredibly creative, excuse us, we get a little tongue-tied at times with the channel. At times it can be very creative when you're in that space of what it feels like to be disconnected, because you always find your way back to yourself. And you will continue to do this throughout your life. It is your bloodline. It is your lifeline. And so, as we said in the beginning, it is always a joy when we come to meet with you. We find your curiosity to be very inspiring. Or indeed, that it is. That's what you like within each and every human being as well. That which sparks your interest. And yes, we also heard the question, and how do you know which beings outside of the sphere you are connected to? Well, the ones that spark your interest, yes? The ones that you are drawn to, because it mirrors a similarity within yourself. And so it really is quite beautiful indeed. All right, we are fully present. And so we would be delighted to take a question, or we'd be delighted to begin the meditation for all. How would you like to proceed, Monsef? And
Oh,
again, thank us for having us. What you are doing for humankind, drawing people together, bringing people together, is more healing than you even know. So, big, heartfelt thank you to you. How would you like to proceed?
thank you. Thank you very much. So let's begin with the meditation and then we take questions.
All right, very good. Yes,
Thank you.
excited to do so. All right, friends, those that are with us, and we see the many rather than the few. Go ahead and close your eyes, please, if not already. And as you're seated down, please have your feet firmly planted on the ground, or if you choose, you can go ahead and sit cross-legged in a lotus position. Just have your spine straight, please. And with the eyes closed, we'd like for you to give yourself permission to have an experience. That's all that it is you giving yourself permission. I now give myself permission to simply let it all go. It will be there when you return. But for this moment in time, to give myself permission to simply let it go, to drop it. And I allow myself the opportunity for peace, for peace. Nothing that you have to do. There's no rights, there's no wrongs. And we are going to start at the number 10, taking a deep breath in, please, breathing in on the number 10. And exhaling on the number 9. 9. Number 8, deep breath in. And you simply let go on the number 7. Exhaling. It is the number 6, taking a deep breath in. And on 5, you simply let go, exhaling what you no longer need. Simply let it go. You might sense yourself beginning to rock, beginning to sway as your body remembers. Your body remembers. Breathing in. Once again, you know the numbers well. Saying them to yourself, focusing on the number, focusing on the breath, breathing in. And then exhaling, you know the numbers well, saying them to yourself. Breathing in, holding it. Then exhaling. The last one, breathing in. And exhaling, letting it all go. You are light. We're going to imagine that there's a sphere of white light up above your head. See it there, put it there. A brilliant white light above your head, and with your consciousness, with your imagination, begin to draw it into yourself, pull it down with your will, draw it into your head, and let it expand through the corners of your skull, through the corners of your ears, out your eyes, this light encoded with information. Breathing it down into your neck, into your throat, into your thyroid, bringing the light down into yourself, continuing with your own rhythm of breath, continuing in your own cadence. Draw the light down into yourself, filling your shoulders, filling your chest, breathing in unison with this light. You are a light being that is having a human experience, and you are simply remembering who you are. It is easy to remember. It is loving to remember. You rejoice in who you are, and the light continues to move through the body, now into your solar plexus region, your belly button region fills with light, filling your hips, feeling your first and second chakras, where your legs meet, filled with light. Feel this experience, feel it. The radiance of you, the love of you, of who you really are. The light divides now, traveling quickly down both of your legs. You feel this rhythm. You allow it. You allow it. You don't control it. You allow it. Now reaching your tippy toes, you wiggle your tippy toes, and the light leaves your body. You are still the light being, and you give the light permission. I give you permission to reach my highest self and bring he or she back to me. Your higher self will come in the gender that you have chosen to be in this life. See it, allow it, welcome this. The light leaves you, a fast ball of light, reaches the universe, contacts your higher self to you. On the count of 3, you will sense a presence. It is 1. It is 2. It is 3. You sense a presence. do you feel? You as light, found now the highest light. Rejoice, for your higher self has waited long for this connection. Give yourself the experience. Keep pushing, keep experiencing, keep loving, keep believing, keep holding the light, which is you. That's right. Beautiful friends. Beautiful indeed. You're doing quite well. You might feel tears of joy. Don't look, experience. Your emotional body will pick up on the light and send a signal to your brain. All you have to do is receive. All you have to do is allow it. That's right. Feel the gentle smile coming on your face. That's right. That's right. Your higher self has waited for you to be ready. Your higher self meeting with the earth self is part of your journey for incarnating. Check mark. Done. You've experienced it. And this is a relationship, friends, then we invite you to cultivate. That we invite you to embrace. For your higher self truly is your best friend. Will guide you as an ally. Will warn you when you're making a wrong turn, or perhaps a turn that you might want to look, is this my preference? Your higher self is for you. For you are what they have already experienced. So yes, they know the outcome. Yes, they know what's next. And yes, they are more than happy to tell you who you are and how you can heal and how you can let go. So we invite you to embrace, to meet with your higher self, and to perhaps right now establish connecting times throughout your day or throughout your week. We invite you to create a sacred space within your home, a meeting place where you meet with your higher self, where you connect with your higher self, where you invite them in. Just to witness each other, to build in communion who you will become in your future. This is your spirit, friends. the backbone of today's conversation. And you all have one. No one has slipped through the cracks. No one is devoid of this. How would your life be if you walked around on the physical plane and you were able to witness the higher self another? And just by the mere presence of your own higher self, they were activated, as you say, or triggered, as you say, but we mean in the positive sense. You see, you don't need a business card, do you? Nor do you need a label or someone else to give you permission. Give yourself permission to start seeing all the higher selves in the room, all the higher selves at your workplace, all the higher selves at the grocery store, your higher self, by seeing them, experiencing them, feeling them, even thinking about it, can draw them closer to their human self. And oh, what a wonderful world it would be, yes? That is the next step in your humanity. That is what your world is lacking now. That is the crisis that you are in. And each of you is moving out of in your own way. The higher self is the way out. Feel this as much as you can. Keep breathing. Whenever you feel that you start thinking too much and you get too mental about it, start to breathe and focus on the breath. If you get into lack of deservability, I don't deserve this, I'm not feeling anything, start to breathe and remember the light that you indeed were able to draw in every part of your beingness as part of the exercise. Very good. Everything in your lives can be transformed by this exercise. Can give you another point of view, can replenish your emotional field as well as your mental field, bringing you back into a new system within your own physicality. And that's how you transform your life. That's how you change. And really what it is, it's the medicine for eternal life. For when you depart this realm and you leave this body, you will be all that you're experiencing now. Light. So why not harness it and learn the principles when you're in the body, making life that much more beautiful when you're here. And so we're going to bring you back, and we'd like for you to maintain as much as you. And so we're going to start with the number 1, move on to the number 2, move on to the number 3, 4, 5, 6, And 7, open your eyes, please, gently, easily, elegantly, and look around at your surroundings and how they appear different to you. All right, very good.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, that was quite powerful for me. Like the
And
experience
thank you
was,
all for your
yeah,
participation. Yes.
yeah. Thank you. Um, I really felt like a sense of peace, of wholeness, and
Yes.
also compassion from my higher self toward my human self. And also, it was like how to say, very expansive, like expanded, very light energy around. Um,
Yes.
so yeah,
Very
thank you
good.
very much. And everyone,
Very.
we would love to hear your feedback as well. You can type it on the chat boxes on Zoom or on YouTube. And can we take questions from the audience?
Yes. Yes. We
So
invite the questions
yeah,
that are growth-oriented, friends, so we can help you.
yes. So Jennifer, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello.
Um, First, I want to thank you for taking the time to have this call. I really appreciate it. I've been having a lot of ups and downs in my life and just trusting just about everything. And I think the reason is because recently I lost my job and now I'm a retired unexpected and was taking care of my mom as well as a full-time job. She's now in a nursing home. So I've had two life changes in a row within 6 months of each other or less. And I find myself lost. And I'm judging myself and I keep wondering, is it okay if I just sit at home and eat and drink and watch TV for a while? Or do I really have to have a purpose right now?
Well, what if that was the purpose? So, yes, it's all right. Give yourself permission if you want to relax a bit. And if that's what the equation of relaxation is, if it's sitting home, watching the television and eating, as you say, if that really what you are doing is you are still processing. Your mind is not free yet. So although you those are acts that you're participating in, you're still going over the how should we say, the incidences that have occurred. So it's not a total relaxation until you can allow the mind to completely let go of the emotional and the mental experiences. What you're at is a complete reset. You're at the beginning of a whole new path, and why you're not embracing it right now is you're simply not ready for it, and that's all right. The path is going to be there. You see, you can't mess it up. All right, so allow yourself silver lining. Perhaps all that has occurred has brought you to this point of now being able to cultivate what you want to do next, to create what you want to do next. Now would be the time to allow the imagination to completely be in her upon. We would invite you to do this meditative experience that we've shared with you today as often as you would like. That will help you in the constant criticism of thyself. That will also help you to start to bring in tones and color vibrations of what it would be like to trust reality again, and to also know that nothing happens to you, but instead adopt the concept that perhaps it's happening for you. All right. Does that make sense to you, dear love?
It does. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Of course. Our pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you, Siria Family.
Yes.
And let's see. Linda, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, Sheryl. Hi, serious people.
Yes.
Thank you so much for allowing this conversation. It's very wonderful. I appreciate it very much. I find myself not knowing exactly what direction to head at this moment in time. I'd love to know what I'm supposed to be doing because I feel like I'm just being, which is fine, but
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I'd love to do a little more.
All right. Well, what is happening within your own consciousness right now is that allowing yourself to be in a state of beingness is exactly what it is important to do. No pun intended there, but you have valued yourself throughout life based on what you do. You see, that has brought a certain mode of self-acceptance, a certain mode of valuing. And now, what you're doing with your soul, believe it or not, your soul and your spirit are now working with their humanness to be in a state of being. And what is a state of being? Well, to the human mind, it says, well, I'm not doing enough, you see. But a state of beingness is the home of the imagination. It's also the home of the divine feminine energy. And that's what you're moving into. So we invite you to not evaluate yourself so much based on what you're doing, but allow this time for the heart to be in a sense of peace and beingness, for the mind to be in a sense of beingness, to acclimate to the greater feminine energies, because that is going to bring more peace and harmony and love into your world far more than what it is that you are doing. So our suggestion is to be gentle with yourself, to allow this receptivity. If you feel like, well, I want to do something, then we would invite you to write it out. Write out your experience. That is a modality of doing. And that is taking the beingness into an act of doing. And you might just find yourself that the next path that you are on is writing a book about your experience. Yes?
Okay, thank you so much. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes, you are most welcome, dear love.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Linda. And thank you, Sarah.
Yes,
So
indeed.
let's see. Tatiana, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello, Sheryl. Hello, Monsef. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So my question is, if I started to live the purpose of my life right now, what would be my first steps to do or to go?
All right, let's just see if we understand this.
Yeah, there is a purpose of my life, right? I believe everyone has a purpose.
Yes, all
Either
right.
it is to be or to do, or what would I need to do, or how do I make my first steps?
All right.
In which direction? Thank you.
Yes, dear love. Always there's a great deal of conflict that we sense going on with you, that is overthinking it all, and we sense this really with the majority of you, if not all of you, that the first steps in the human mind comes from what you are thinking about. And what we'd like to impress upon, that the first steps come from what you are
Mm.
feeling in life. So let it be what you are, let the feeling be the motivation, is what we are saying here. Let the feeling be the motivation. Let love be your guidance. And that is how you will always know that your barometer is right on track. So it's not to say, well, dear love, you should go work over here because that's where you're going to find joy. You should stop everything and go work over here. It's not that at all. But you're switching the gears right now. in the past. You're switching the gears and you're moving into really a more spiritual life. And you have a little bit of trepidation about it because, well, how does that pan out here on the physical plane if I have more of these kinds of experiences? And with the experience that we shared with you today of contacting the higher self, that is going to lead you. That light is going to lead you. That light is going to lead you to more light. So that is the first step that we would suggest. When you find yourself that you're getting up here and you have to understand things up here, breathe yourself into the loving space. As was talked about earlier, the greatest distance is oftentimes between the head and the heart. So when you get too heady in having to understand something, know that that can be a great deterrent as to your guidance. Now, we see within you, there is a very strong ability that you do have to quiet yourself, to calm the mind, to go into moments of prayer that you've done many, many, many times before. If you don't like that word, then to go into moments of silence, because that's where you can really feel you. And so you're going to be on this journey for a little while until you become comfortable with it. And then you're going to find that things begin to shift. And when you become comfortable with it is when you have contacted your future and you're starting to live your future now. So it's all happening really in the inner world. So does that make sense to you?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You are so right.
Yeah.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Montel. Thank you,
Beautiful.
Sheryl.
Thank you, Tatiana. And thank you, Siria. So let's see. Let's take our next caller, Sylvia. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, Montse. Hi, Sheryl. I got
Hi.
a question for you. I want to download a program, but I don't know if the Sirius people want to work with me, or should I go directly to the Council of Light?
All right. Well, you should go for whoever is available after you contact them, yes?
Yes, but I spend more time in Sirius, and then I just want to make sure I feel like obligated to work with them, but at the same time, I guess the council kind of makes more sense. And then I was also drawn to Athena, so I'm between those three.
All right.
Does
Well,
the Sirius people have any any
number
guidance?
one, the obligation that you feel is coming from your human self. So you want to, as we talked about or was talked about earlier today, about the idea, the concept of discernment. So when you are contacting these beings, you want to be very clear on the telegram, in a sense, that you're sending out. And the way that we sense it right now, it's a little wobbly. The connection coming from you is a little wobbly, and that is what's causing a little bit of interference as to what it is that you're receiving back. So when you send out that telegram as an invitation, make it very clear as to the beings that you're connecting to and who you want to connect to, and you're going to get direct contact back, and you won't feel a sense of obligation. You won't feel any sort of humanness or guilt or anything like that that is filtering the connection. So in that way, we're going to revert back to the exercise that we did today. And when you send that ball of light out, connecting to your higher self, ask your higher self to bring back with your higher self the beings that are in direct alignment with your higher self and the human self to make contact with. That is of the highest vibration and is of the highest light. And then the connection will be pure. It will be clear as a crystal, and there will be no doubt within your own consciousness. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right. Well, happy connecting.
Thank you. Thank you, Sylvia. And thank you, Siria. So let's see. Let's take one more question. We don't have the name. It's an iPhone user. Any suggestions, please, when we are going through the dark night of the soul, confusion and great sadness? Thank you.
Yes, well, to know that confusion and sadness, you would feel, all of you would feel the disconnect. But what about if you used those energies to really connect with yourself? I'm feeling very sad today. I'm feeling hopeless today. I don't have any motivation or anything that's exciting me in life. I'm not worthy to move forward. And sense that. What does that feel like to you? In other words, if you were in a room, what would that room look like? Would it be round? Would it be square? Would it be at the bottom of the dungeon? Would it be dark? Would it have a color to it? Where's your position in that room? And that's going to start to pivot you. It's going to start to pivot your consciousness, because you're going to start to say, all right, I'm in this room, I'm in the corner, I don't like it. But even when you're there, you have the choice to get up, to stand up. And that would be a choice to say, all right, I'm just going to stand up. Even if I feel this emotional pain, I'm going to get up and stand up. All right, I have made progress. Now I'm going to look around this room. It's dark, but let me put my hands on the walls. And remember in the beginning, the electromagnetic energy between your hands, place them on the walls and begin to shrink them. Pulling your hands down pulls the walls down until your head is above, and then look outside. In other words, what we're saying is honor where you're at and know that you have a choice to get out of there with ease and with grace. It doesn't have to be rushed. It doesn't have to be hurried, because that is a space of consciousness which has its value. Oh, we hear you, but I don't like it. We're not saying that you do, but it's part of that kaleidoscope the channel was talking about earlier. It's part of that diamond. And by doing what we have suggested, it's no longer as dark. It's no longer as frightening. It's no longer as impenetrable as it once was. In other words, you're taking your power back. Now, we understand that you don't like to feel sad. None of you like to welcome depression, do you? But yet it comes. But let's talk about the anatomy as to what it is. Oftentimes, sadness, depression, is really anger that you dismissed, that you don't want to look at. So I'll welcome the depression. I'll welcome the sadness, anything not to feel angry. Now, we're not suggesting that you walk around the planet feeling angry. We're just saying to acknowledge that that's what it is. Then you could say, all right, I'm not only am I sad, I feel depressed, but I know that the particles of that, what makes those, the anatomy, is that I feel angry. But then you could say, I'm angry with the situation. And it's been going on for so long, it's made me sad. And I've allowed myself to live with the sadness. And there's lots of ways to process the anger. Once you recognize that that's what it is. Anger is very easy to process. And it's always covering something that you wanted that you didn't get. And you can give yourself what you wanted in meditation. You can start to feed yourself that desire, that job, that relationship, that house, that love, that connection. You can feed it to yourself in meditation. And that's the more real. The inner world is the more real, and that's what you bring to the outer world. So perhaps one day we'll talk about how to process anger. All right, does that make sense to you?
That makes sense. Thank you so much, Siria, and also our iPhone user. We would love to hear your feedback. You can type it on the chat. So thank you so much for the meditation, the inspiration, the message, and also the support you gave to our audience. And also, you and Sheryl, you are offering one-on-one sessions, 60 minutes and 90 minutes. The one with 90 minutes includes 30 minutes energy transmission. And so I invite our audience, for those who want to book a session with the Siria Family and Sheryl, you can visit the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Sheryl, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Sheryl, SHERYL. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live event page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description, and I will put it on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. So, Siria Family, would you like to talk about that, or will it be Sheryl who will do that?
Well, we feel that you did a mighty good job already.
Okay.
All that we will add in these private sessions is that they can be very private, dear friends. We talk about what you want to talk about and what you want to explore. And we can be very intimate with you. All right. So we will add that. And it sounds like you are complete with us, and we can bring our channel back, yes?
Yes. Thank you very much for everything.
So we want to thank you all for allowing us to come through. As we said, the pleasure is always ours. We're going to step aside. We're going to go back into our world, and we're going to depart this channel. We're departing her frequency, meaning that she will be coming back into her humanness. She may not remember very much, but we will be nonetheless departing. So, as we always say, we thank you for your love, which we feel, for your vulnerability, which we feel. We love you, we love you, we love you. And when you've had enough, we have even more. We are Siria Family. We are signing out. Goodbye, good evening, good day. Let it go.
Welcome back. Yeah, that was it was very powerful. We loved the experience with them, the meditation, the message, and also the answers to the audience questions. Yeah, it was quite powerful. So thank you for bringing them. Yeah.
Thank you to everybody for coming.
And so would you like to maybe share something before we complete our call?
Probably not.
Okay.
I think it's great that you all got a chance to experience me and my own personality talking in the beginning. And then you got a chance to really experience Siria Family talking and seeing the complete different personalities. I think that's really important. A lot of times people will think that it's me talking, and such is not the case.
Thank you very much. And we have a feedback from two iPhone users. We don't have the names. Yeah, one is Jackie, I know. Thank you, Monsef and Sheryl. So beautiful and helpful. Love and gratitude. And the other one, very deep and most valuable. Thank you, Sheryl, Anne, guides, and Monsef. My love to you. Beautiful.
Good.
So yeah,
thank you for having us. This is like the third time, and I always love it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody coming, your willingness to participate in the unusual and extraordinary. That's what I say.
And so thank you so much, Sheryl, again, for everything you shared, yourself and Siria Family. And yeah, so also everyone, thank you so much for being here. And again, you can, like we mentioned before, you can sign up for the one-on-one sessions, either 60 minutes or 90 minutes session is a channeling session with Sheryl and the Siria Family. And you can do that on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Sheryl, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Sheryl, SHERYL. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. We have Alan.
Looking forward
He
to
wrote,
working with some of you.
Sorry?
Looking forward to working with some of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Alan wrote, thank you, Monsef and Sheryl. Rosemary, thank you so much. Claude, wonderful. Sylvia, thank you. So, so with that, everyone, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye for now.